Take a closer look at Eagles Fly by Sammy Hagar. Again, the main chords, you got a G. You got your C add 9. All right, and then really one of the major things you'll be doing is just kind of alternating the bass notes. So if you got that C add 9, just walk it down to the B at times. And then back to the G, right? And then you're gonna be throwing in a D in there as well. But we'll get to that, all right? So, beginning of the song, again, from how I've heard it over the, going back to when I first heard it acoustic, I don't know if he still does it the same way currently with the circle, but it's just a G chord. That's how it starts. And then it goes down to that C. And then you're going to walk that bass line, okay? So altogether it's going to be... I did there, again, I played the G, I played that C add 9, I alternated the bass notes between the C and the B, back to the G. That was it. So it's all about just listening to the song to get a feel for the timing. That's all it really is, okay? And that goes right into the verse, and it's pretty straightforward, just the same chords basically. Okay, and then you're going to go right into the verse, the chorus, I should say. And that's where that D comes in. Okay, so it's... Take me away. So what am I doing there? It's the D chord, right? And then you're just kind of basically doing two different walk downs. The one which we've already done on the A string, right? So your C to the B to the open A. And the same thing on the low E string, on the 6th string. G, F sharp, E. So it's... And then that C add 9 becomes your turnaround to get back into the verse, which is basically... Verse 2. So that's really, I mean, you got your intro, you got your verse, and you got your chorus at that point with basically 3 chords, the bass line, you alternate, and then that walk down. Okay? That's really it. The only difference being here, or the thing you should add to it, is that there's a bit of a, I'm not going to call it a solo, but there's a breakdown, where a solo could be, I guess, if you want to go there. And it's kind of based around the D shape, but going into some different sounds, basically. So it's the D. So all I'm really doing there is playing that D shape, right? And at that point, I'm going to be doing a walk up now. I'm using my pinky because it's just easier for me. And I'm going to go high E string. I'm adding the 4th fret and then the 5th fret. And then when I hit that 5th one, I'm moving the shape up a whole step basically to an E shape, or an E chord, I should say, using the D shape. Same thing. Back to that D. And then I'm just going to change the pattern here, or the order. Instead of going up, I'm going to come down. Right? So let's try it again. right? So it's going there. And then I think he's done it a couple different ways. So whatever sounds good to you, I guess. You can put the A in there, just that triad. And I guess it's kind of like a, I don't even know what that is. It's just kind of like maybe a B flat or a C potentially. But it just kind of sounds good to you. I mean, there's no real right way of doing it. It's kind of just a little solo or a breakdown. And I bring it back to the D. And then for effect, if you want, you can kind of slow it down, stop it. And then he gives the big hat. The song for the most part. Again, not saying this is 100% accurate, but how I've played it, how you can play it, you can add your own little things to it. It sounds great. Again, I'm kind of, going for those 3-chord songs, something that you can do if you're a beginner, if you're intermediate. This is something you can definitely break out at an open mic night, at a coffee shop somewhere, coffee house. And it just works. I think it goes over really well. And, again, you're just kind of using regular open chords, key of G basically. So, that's how I play it. All right, so there you have it. Pretty straightforward. Just a handful of chords. Again, that's all it really is. So, give it a shot. Like I said, originally released on the I Never Said Goodbye album by Sammy Hagar. But you could probably find something on YouTube. As far as the live performance, again, it was the one that I remember best was 1983 Live Right Here, Right Now, where he did it solo. And then if I remember correctly, it was back in 95 on the Balance tour with Van Halen. I think there was a pay-per-view of the band doing a show from Toronto, and he did it in that show as well. The only difference with that one is that towards the end, the whole band kicks in. So it's pretty cool just seeing the band play along with them. But again, thanks for checking this out, and we'll see you soon. Hey everyone, good to see you. Thanks for stopping by, checking the channel out, checking this particular video out. Really do appreciate it. Again, if you haven't done so, please like, subscribe, hit the bell, all that good stuff. You'll get notified when I upload videos at any time, basically. Also, if you haven't done so, check out the website, sixstringfun.com. A lot of things going on over there as well. Continuously going to be adding to it over time. It's a brand new website, so just more to come with that. I forgot about this song for years, and I happened to be going through a binder with some chord charts I had for a band I was in at one point, at least trying to get something off the ground as far as an acoustic thing goes. And I was thumbing through it, and I found this one, and I realized, oh my God, this is really a simple one to learn, at least on the acoustic guitar, to do solo. The full version of it, obviously there's a horn and there's keys and all that, but again, this is Tender Years by John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band, better known, you probably know it better from the part of the soundtrack for Eddie and the Cruisers. So it's 4 chords. It's G, E minor, C, and a D. 99% of the song, that's all that is. At the very end, I believe the timing and some of the chord changes might change a little bit, but you don't really have to worry about that. If you want to play it strictly on the acoustic guitar, you're fine. So let's kind of get into it. I'll get a little bit closer here so you can kind of see what's going on here. Just make life a little bit easier, hopefully. So again, the 4 chords, G, your E minor, your C, and a D. All right? So you've got that. The strumming pattern, it's obviously slow, but I think if you do the timing in your head, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, that's basically how this is going to go. So you can just strum it, so it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And that's it. So really, I mean, that's basically the entire song right there. So the intro is the same progression. We got the saxophone solo. You go to the verse, you go to the chorus, there's a sax solo. And that's really the entire song. Now, if you want to kind of spice it up a little bit more, you can kind of just pick the arpeggios. So again, you just got, I don't ever hit the same strings twice when I'm picking it. I just kind of do what feels good. I'm moving around and just, you know, there's certain strings I think I usually need to hit, which is the bass note for each chord as we change. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, and, right? So I'll make sure I hit those. And then I'm just kind of, you know, picking some random notes in a way that just I feel fit, you know, pretty well. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. So I guess the 3, I'm kind of accenting whatever note I'm hitting there. I'm giving it a little bit more to it just for dynamics. So I guess that's just how I do it. I've always done it, I guess. So again, if we go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And that's basically the rhythm and the pattern for most of the song. If you're playing it in a full band, you're playing electric. I might even do another lesson just on the electric to show you some things I can do there as well. And you want to just kind of maybe jam out a solo, some single notes there. You know, G major pentatonic or E minor pentatonic, you know, again, same notes, just depending on where you want to, you know, have that tonal center come around. But, you know, again, if it's just a G major, right? So there's a lot of things you can do there, the 5 different boxes. You know, you don't have to be kind of pinned into that one area. The only difference that I mentioned at the end, I just think that when the piano starts trailing out at the end of this tune, you know, it's... I think that C is a quick change back to the D or even just a G. It's kind of semantics at this point. Like I said, most of the song, you know, 99.9% of the song are those 4 chords in that order the whole time. So it could get boring at times, but that's why you can arpeggiate, you can make it your own. But I'm pretty sure at the very end, there's a slight variation with just the timing of those changes. So it's kind of a quick hit from the C to the D, back to the G, and then you go back to the front end of that progression again. So again, it's fairly straightforward. It's, as far as I'm concerned, a great tune. You know, probably didn't get some of the credit it deserved, and I think Cafferty probably didn't get the credit he deserved because they always compared him to Springsteen. You know, call it what you want. I think there were some good tunes there, but check it out. If you haven't seen the movie, you've got to see the movie Eddie and the Cruisers. I mean, again, we all have our opinion here on movies and our opinions and all that. For me, I don't know, Eddie and the Cruisers just kind of ranks up there. It's just a great movie. I'm not going to say the best of all time, but it's a good movie. I could watch it over and over again. Eddie and the Cruisers 2, like I said, I like Eddie and the Cruisers, the first one. So, but give it a shot. Check it out. Very straightforward, 4 chords. And take it from there. So again, thanks for stopping by, checking it out. Really do appreciate it. Again, like, subscribe, hit the bell. Check out the website, sixstringfun.com. You can email me, reach out, comments are welcome. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks very much. Awesome song to play on the acoustic guitar. Maybe you recognized it, maybe you didn't, but this song is in a completely different key than what you probably are used to. That was the intro to Who Can It Be Now? Okay, you probably recognize that song from Men at Work from the early 80s. Really upbeat, poppy song. You know, just really upbeat. You know, at that time, a lot of the music back in the 80s was upbeat like that. So, if you didn't know, so after Men at Work were basically done, Colin Hay, I guess the chief songwriter and frontman, lead singer for Men at Work, went off to what I would say is a very successful solo career. If you weren't aware of that, you've got to go and find out, you know, see the solo stuff that he did. It's fantastic stuff. Many, many albums, some great, great songwriting and music on it. You've got to check out. One of the albums that he did was called Man at Work. Basically, he had taken some of the Men at Work tunes, rearranged them, And this was one of them on that album. You know, I call it an album because actually I have the LP. 3-4 years ago, maybe, Colin was playing a show up at the Newton Theater in Newton, New Jersey. And I went up there for that with a buddy of mine and his family. And it wasn't a solo show. He was with his band. So, again, he was doing more of when he played the Men at Work song, it was more of the stuff you're accustomed to. But he had an album for sale there. And it was called Man at Work. And it was those rearranged acoustic type versions of those Men at Work songs. And the coolest thing about that was the LP. You know, it's an LP, but when you open it up, the vinyl is actually orange. So it was really cool. So if you get the opportunity, number one, check out the music. Get the vinyl if you can. Get some of the solo work, because honestly, there's some amazing, just the songwriting. I mean, you sit down and listen. If you're a songwriter and you're trying to aspire to be a songwriter and write music, write lyrics, you've got to start with him, because you wouldn't think to. Trust me, check it out. So this song, Who Can It Be Now? Again, we all kind of know the tune. Arranged a little bit differently, pretty simple for the most part. I'm going to take you through just some of the changes and the chords, the intro, verse, chorus. There's a bit of a bridge, that sort of thing. I'll apologize now, because I will do a little bit of singing just to kind of use it as a guide track. And you'll find out pretty quickly how singing is not for me. So you can hold the comments to yourself at that point. All right, but let's get right into it. So what we're doing is we're starting with, basically, it's a B minor type of chord. Probably the hardest chord for this particular song. I know if you're a beginner, you know some of the basic chords you might know already: a D, a C, an E minor, an A. But the whole theme is kind of based off of a B minor. So, you know, again, standard B minor, bar chord. So, you know, starting on, you know, the B on the second fret is your root, and then, you know, you play that bar chord. What we're going to do a little bit differently here is we're going to hold that shape. Let's take our pinky off, so now it becomes like a B minor 7, okay? And instead of barring the entire second fret, I'm going to just have my finger on that root note of the B on the 5th string, and I'm going to have the G open and the E open. So that kind of gives you that eerie type of, I guess, mood that he's building in that intro. And all we're going to do is we're going to just pick 1, 2, 3, 4 down, and we come right back up. So what it's going to be is, starting on that B note, pretty, I'll say simple stuff in comparison to some other things I played. But it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So you're starting with the B, you're going to go down to the B string as well, where you have your, you know, your 3rd fret B string hit with your middle finger, and you're going to come right back up. And then what I do is, just for the timing, to keep my timing right, I just kind of, I might just hit a couple other notes just to keep the timing mechanism going in my head. Once you do that, the only thing we're going to do differently is we're taking our finger off of that B note on the 2nd string right there. So it's going to be from this to your open A. That's kind of building the mood, basically. So it's open. So I think the key with this, again, the B and the A root is what's giving us that mood. That open E, though, almost acts like a turnaround at times for you to go back into the root. So the variation of this and this, we're going to do twice, total of 2 times. So it's, that's 1. And then at the end of it, we're just going to strum. Okay? That's going to take us to the verse. You can get through this, then you can get through the rest of the song okay. We're going to go to a D. okay? Then we go to a C add 9. And then what we're doing is we're just going to take the bass note of that C on the 5th fret, and we're going to just go down one, down 1 fret to the B. So it's 1 time on the D, 1 time on that C add 9. When we make the change to the root on the B, 2 times. Okay, so who can it be knocking at my door? Okay, and at the very end of that piece for the verse, there's a turnaround where you really need to hit that to just kind of give that song a little bit of push to go to that next part, which is still the verse. It's going to be, again, from that B on the bass note on the 5th string to an open A. Okay? And then that's what we're looking to get. Back into the D. So, So you're going to do that 4 times, okay? That progression 4 times by itself. When you finish the 4th time, you're going into the chorus. Chorus is the same thing as the intro, basically. So we're going to go, let's come out of the verse now. I'll do that last part of the verse, the verse, and we'll go into the chorus, okay? Hit that open A by mistake. Sorry if you caught that. But basically, again, just like the verse, we're going to do that twice, okay? So, and then it's right back into the verse again. Okay? So, that's the verse again. So, do that again another 4 times, back into the chorus. Who can it be now? Right? And then we're going to go into the bridge. 2 chords. It's E minor, A. You're going to play that progression, the E minor and the A, 4 times. You can get away with just 4 times through, no big deal. What I tend to do is, so in the band that I play in, the acoustic band Failure to Launch, when I play it with Tom, what we tend to do is, Tom's got such a range on him that when it's just like his voice is another instrument at times. So it allows me to maybe just kind of embellish some of these notes a little bit more. So I'll play the E minor. Some, hammers and pulls, But again, 4 times through. When we get to the 4th one, again, what I do is, usually when we're playing it, it's just 1 guitar. So I try to do some things with Tom and his voice, because he starts to do a bit of a climb vocally going into that, I guess it could be a solo section. It's just more of like, well, there's no solo, but it's a solo. It's got that pad there for a solo, right? So when I go, what I tend to do for that last time around is I'll start climbing a little bit too. Not much, but just enough where you can hear it. So it's just on the B string. What I'm doing is I'm holding an A. I'm holding a bar chord. And when I'm holding that bar chord, I've already got the 2nd fret on the B string down. And then I'll climb 1 more fret up to the, from a C sharp to a D to an E. So it's, there it is. Right? right? So that goes into that last, like I said, it's kind of a solo section if you want to do something over it. I'm not sure what else you can call it. But it's basically a D. To that C add 9. But it's just those two chords. You're not going anywhere else. Four times. That's it. And after that fourth time, we're going right back into the chorus. Just like the verse, just like the chorus, you go through that twice, okay? And then it's the outro. Fairly simple on the outro. The only difference there, only variation is there'll be the last chord. Again, bit of a some embellishing some of the notes just to kind of give it something different. So the end of the song is A. So it's who can it? And it's just, that's what it is. You know, 4 times. So you go through 3 the same way. And then what I do is on that 4th time, when I come back to the G, I'm changing my fingering a little bit here. Instead of, you know, your standard G like this, just how you kind of have that shape, I'm then going to take my ring finger, use that for my root, use my middle finger for the 5th string, and use my pinky for that high G on the 1st string. And what it does is it gives me this finger here to go and do some hammers on the B string for that C note. So it becomes a suspended chord at that point. So it's, I'll go through it the whole 4 times. You can hear what I'm doing there. That's 1. Doing there is just kind of just giving it a little bit of an accent. You don't even have to. I think I usually start with the my index finger on that C, and then I just end on the G note or on the G string, G chord, basically. But that's really all it is. Great tune. What I would suggest is, again, if you listen to the song that Colin Hay did when he rearranged it. Whether you're playing it acoustic or even with an electric, you know, somehow with a band by yourself, he has a lot of effects on that. It's like chorus and delay to kind of give it that almost like a wet sound. Just gives it a lot of depth when you listen to it. So definitely check that out. You don't have to, but if you have the ability to do so, give it some of that effect. A lot of chorus, some reverb. Make it sound like you're hearing it from a distance. That's probably the best way to do that. But again, check out, you know, Colin's solo stuff. Some great things on there. A lot of albums. Great songs too. I mean, I'll put them in the description. Some of the albums, some of the songs that are just, you sit back and listen to them and it's like, wow, some great songwriting there. But unfortunately, people don't know about them because all they do is they know about from Men at Work. So do a little bit of digging. Check him out. It's definitely well worth it. Some great music. He's great to see live. Matter of fact, I know very soon he's going to be here in the Jersey area. I think in March or April he's going to be down at Monmouth University. So I know he's got a tour coming up. So definitely worth checking out if you can do it. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.